Now that we know how to multiply polynomials, we'd like to know how to divide them. And in order to do that, we need to think a little bit about just what division is. Division is the opposite of multiplication. So when I say, what is 120 divided by 10? I mean, 10 times what equals 120? Well, I know that 10 times 12 equals 120. And so that's what tells me that 120 divided by 10 equals 12. So in order to divide polynomials, we are going to need to somehow reverse the process of polynomial multiplication. So that's one thing we need to keep in mind from whole number division. In order to divide polynomials, we need to reverse the process of multiplication. There's another thing, too, we need to keep in mind from whole number division, and that is that division of whole numbers doesn't always work out. So, for example, if I asked you in the whole numbers, what is 84 divided by 8? You'd say, well, 8 times 10 is 80. So if I have 84 whole things, I can make 10 groups of 8, but then I have 4 things left over. I can't make another whole group because 8 times 11 is 88. What do we say? We would say 84 divided by 8 is 10, remainder 4. That is, if I have 84 things, I can make 10 groups of 8, and I have 4 things left over. If I wanted to rewrite this sentence in terms of multiplication, this means the same as 10 groups of 8 plus 4 extra things gives me 84. Now, what is my point in reminding you of remainders? And yes, I know that later on we'll answer this question with fractions. But let's not jump ahead to fractions of polynomials just now. What's my intention in reminding you of this? When we do polynomial division, we are going to find remainders. What rules do the remainders in the whole numbers have to follow? Well, they're allowed to be 0, right? Sometimes nothing is left over. We're talking about the whole numbers here, so we haven't introduced negative numbers yet. Saying they can't be negative isn't really relevant. But they have to be smaller than the divisor. That is, the number we're dividing by. If they were at least as big as the divisor, we'd just make another group of 8 and have a smaller remainder. So keep these two ideas in mind as we move on to polynomial division. We will see parallels to them with polynomials.